Morning, y'all. What was that noise? Good morning, y'all. We get a lot of that around here. What's that noise? Today we are going to be starting some seeds. Yes, it is January the 2nd, so you're probably, especially you guys up north, saying, what the heck is she doing? But with the zone that I'm in, our latest frost date is usually around the first week of March, which means that I have certain plants that I want to go ahead and start indoors. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that today. So, in my zone, with the first week of March being my latest frost date, I want to go ahead and start my tomatoes and my peppers now. Yes, I have a greenhouse. However, a greenhouse does not keep it a balmy, 75 degrees out there. We have a couple of heat lamps out there which keeps the freeze off of things. So if a plant is already established, then it's going to keep it from freezing, but that's about it. So I have a shelf in here I'm going to show you guys in a little bit that has some grow lights on it, and it is in a draft-free closet basically. I'm going to be starting my seeds in there, and I'm starting kind of a unique way of doing my seeds. I'm sure somebody out there has done this. I'm sure I'm not the first one to do it, but I'm going to take you guys through that today. Okay, so I have a towel set up here on my kitchen island. It's just one of my old towels. I usually, instead of throwing those out, I recycle those to use them for all different kinds of things, and this is one of them. I have this big metal tray here. That is actually a bakery full sheet cake pan. Yes, it is. In case those of you are wondering, I used to own a bakery, so I have a bunch of these laying around, and they make fantastic seed starter trays. They make great trays also for carrying little pots of things around and stuff. Is it covered in gunk and dirt? Yes, it is. It was in last year's greenhouse, and it's a mess. And I thought about hosing it down, and then I thought, there might be some nice, really good enzymes in that dirt, and I'm just going to leave it on there. I see no reason to clean it off just to cover it with dirt again. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm using these old paper towel and toilet paper rolls. I've been saving these all year long. And I'm going to be cutting these into smaller pieces that are about 2 inches tall. And I'm going to be packing them with dirt, and that is what I'm going to be doing my seed starts in. When these start to grow and the roots start sticking out at the bottom of this, then we'll know it's time to take this and put it in a bigger pot. Or out, in the greenhouse or in the dirt, wherever you're at with the process. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on these now. I will tell you that when you get ready to put these in something bigger, you can just put the whole thing in the pot. You do not have to take the plant out of this, because this is going to break down and decompose in the dirt. And it's just added mulch, it's just added compost. So got all my seeds out here, and I'll be showing you guys what seeds I'm doing and how I'm starting those here in just a second. Okay, let me show you guys what seeds I'm starting today. I am doing the classic beefsteak tomatoes. I do want to start some cherry tomatoes. However, for some reason or another, my seeds did not come in for those, and I'm going to have to wait for some seeds to come in. So those will get started in a few days. The beefsteak tomatoes, I like those because there's a lot less juice in them, and there's more tomato in the center of that, which is just, to me, a better all-around use for the tomatoes. I don't do a lot of tomato juice for anything, but I do want to use these for sauce and paste and different things like that. And so I really like the beefsteak because it just has less juice and more tomato. So the bulk of my tomato plants are going to be these right here, which are the classic beefsteak tomato. Then I'm doing a whole bunch of different peppers because if you guys have watched any of my cooking videos, I tend to use a lot of peppers to flavor things. And I personally cannot do hot, like spicy hot, kind of hot. Tim likes it and he does it. I have to go with milder peppers, so we've got kind of a mixture of things going on here. These are some big red bell peppers. I love red bell peppers, and I do an awesome red bell pepper steak that is amazing, so we're going to do some of those. This is one that was a free seed that I got from Baker Creek when I ordered a bunch of seeds, and for every so many seed packets you order, they send you a free one. And this one is called a datil or a dottle pepper. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. These apparently are extremely spicy. In fact, on the package it says vicious heat. So I personally will not be eating these. Then I have the California Wonder Peppers, and even though it kind of shows it red on this package, these are really a nice green bell pepper. So I've planted this type before, and I've really, really liked it, and so I'm going to continue to do this. Then we have our big Jim peppers, and if you guys ever go get like chopped chili peppers in the store in the little can, like the Hatch chili peppers, that's what I'm growing this for. It's a mild to medium pepper, and so it's great for things like a green chili stew, or if you're making chicken enchilada soup, or any of that kind of stuff. This is a really good pepper for that. Then I am doing what I'm really excited about. These are called Nada Pino peppers, N-A-D-A Pino peppers. They are jalapenos without the heat. They have the flavor of the jalapenos, but they're not going to burn your face off, which is, I love the flavor of jalapenos, but I can't stand the heat. So these are going to be for me. Then I have the Tam jalapeno peppers, which are just your regular jalapeno peppers. They're a medium to hot pepper, and these are going to be for Tim because he loves jalapeno peppers. Then I have the poblano peppers, and Tim is a huge fan of chili rellenos, which I have made from scratch before, and they're really not hard to do, and they're really, really good. And these are a mild to medium, I'd say, pepper, and they're good for a lot of other things too. So whatever extras I have that I don't use for chili rellenos, I will probably chop them up and can them, or maybe freeze some. So that is everything that I am starting today. Okay, so what I'm doing with the toilet paper rolls is I'm cutting these in half right down the middle so that I have a tube that's about 2 inches tall. I haven't taken a tape measure to it, but I'm kind of eyeballing that and saying that's going to be about 2 inches tall. And I'm going to pull this tray over here closer to me so that my little T-Rex arms can reach it. That's the big family joke at our house, is I have T-Rex arms because they're not very long. So I'm going to put these on the tray just like this. I'll put this over here where you guys can see it better. And then I've got some of my soil here. Now this is the mix that we bought from a local company back in the summer, and it is what they call a potting soil raised bed mix, sort of. So it's a combination of what they call enhanced soil, which means it has compost already built into it, and some lighter stuff to keep it from getting too heavy also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. You! Tim just came in, y'all. So I have written on this, I just put Tom for tomato. I'm writing on each one of these to show what type of seed I have planted in here. So later on, because tomatoes and pepper plants and all that look very much alike, especially when they first start out, I'm going to, especially the pepper plants, like I want to make sure that I know which pepper's jalapeno and which pepper's not a pino and all that. So I'm writing on these what they are on the side of each one. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my garden soil. And I'm going to start filling this tube up. Teaspoon works about perfect for this. And I'm not packing it in there super tight. I'm just getting in there good so that it won't all fall out the bottom when I water it. And I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch down below the top of this. Maybe a little bit more. Because when I put the seed in there, I want to be able to cover it up a little bit. So these are my tomato seeds, and I just put them on this white plate so that I'd be able to see them a little bit better. And I'm going to pick one of these up. I'm going to pop it right there in the middle of that. And then I'm going to put a little bit more dirt right on top there. I'm not going to pack it down hard. I'm just going to pack it down just a little bit so that it doesn't get too much light in it prior to sprouting. You don't want a whole lot of light until after it starts sprouting those first little leaves, and then you can start putting some grow lights on it. So there is my tomato, and I'm just going to scooch this right over here to the edge, and I'm going to start on the rest of these and get these all filled up and ready to go. Y'all, I've got all my tomato seeds in here, and I ended up with 48 of these. Now, I really only want about 25 healthy tomato plants, but you know, they're not all going to germinate. They just don't always germinate. So I am doing extras, and if I end up with a lot of extra plants, if I do the farmer's market in the spring, I can always sell the extras at the farmer's market. Or, you know, I have family and friends that may want a couple of tomato plants at their house, and I'll probably more than likely just give those to people that will, you know, actually grow them and produce food out of them. But otherwise, I'll find a place for them. If I can't sell them and I can't give them away, then I'll just have extra tomato plants. So we're going to start on our peppers next. So a couple things that I wanted to point out in case you guys didn't catch it in the video. I was patting that dirt down just a little bit, but I wasn't compacting it down super hard. I did want it to be able to stay in there, but I wanted to compact it a little bit because I knew that when I started watering it, that soil was going to sink down some. Also, I filled them all the way up to the top, knowing that it was going to sink down some. So then when I put my seeds in, I put extra on top and kind of patted that down a little bit more. These seeds for tomatoes and peppers are fairly small seeds, and you typically don't want to bury them any deeper than about twice the length of the seed on the longest part of the seed. So I didn't put more than about 1/4 inch at the most of soil on top of these seeds. The other thing that I don't know if you guys noticed or not was that I put a couple of seeds in each one of those little pods. That way, if one doesn't germinate, hopefully the other one will. Now, I did plant extra pods, so I know I have probably more than I'm going to need. And as early as I'm planting these, if I get a really bad germination rate, it gives me some time to start some new seeds. But I did double up on those seeds, and if I have 2 that grow in the same pod, there's a couple different things I can do there. I can take one out and replant it in another pod, which sometimes they make it when you do them that small and sometimes they don't. Or you can just thin those out and just get rid of them completely. Usually I'll throw them to my chickens or whatever if I end up pulling seedlings out like that. But anyway, just wanted to point those things out. Okay, y'all. This shelf is a shelf that I had elsewhere, and right now this is in my utility room, which is an unfinished room, so ignore the mess, please. And this shelf, as you can see, pardon the cleaning supplies and stuff up there on the shelf above it, but these are grow lights right across here, and I've got 4 grow lights on the bottom of the shelf above it that are attached with zip ties, and we're going to go ahead and start these on this shelf, and they're not going to need any grow lights or sunshine or anything right off the bat. They need to be in a dark place in order to germinate better anyway, and then once they start sprouting up out of the ground or out of the dirt, then I will come back and I'll turn these grow lights on, and that way they can get some light until they're ready to go out in the greenhouse. And when I get past the point of probably mid-February or so, when we know we're not going to have any more massive cold fronts coming in, I'll probably go ahead and move these to the greenhouse at that point, at which point I have some other grow lights that are going to go out there as well. Even though it's going to get sun, I still want to get some extra grow lights when it's not quite spring yet. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead, and I've got water here, and I'm going to start pouring this water in this tray. And I just am going to pour it where the water's going to kind of soak into the bottom of these. Probably put some water in several different spots over here, like right there and right here. Just want to make sure that all the little pods end up with some. And I don't want to pour water directly on top of the pods if I can help it. I just want the water to soak up from underneath. And we're going to keep these pods moist until these really start popping up. So I will come back when I do my January garden update and update you guys as to how these are going at that point. So thank you for hanging out with me today while I am working on getting my spring garden starts going, and appreciate the viewership, and would love if you guys would subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for following us along. We'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.